Gravy, baby.
Welcome to Gravy Baby. Hello, my little gravy babies. Babies? I think I said gravy babies, which...
Little gravy babies. Yeah, you just bait people into eating more gravy. Or to taking the gravy, the good gravy, you know?
Mm-hmm. Or it's like a masturbation thing. Like, not like literally, but like, you know, you can
figuratively
masturbate.
masturbating?
Yeah.
Sometimes I just like to masturbate figuratively as opposed to literally.
Well, I just mean, you know, it could be like there's masturbating and then there's gravy baiting.
Yeah. We got no DJ today, folks. I'm sorry. Just been confirmed. He's not going to be able to join us today, which we are very sad about. But he's balls deep in this farm action. He's got a lot of things going on the farm. I don't know if he's befriending the chickens so much that they're started a crocheting circle or what the deal is. But but I miss him. I miss his crazy.
I miss
ass.
him too.
Yeah.
There's something funny about your DJ being unavailable because he's farming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, we're going to have to do it live, folks. We don't have our DJ. Somebody call our drummer. What's your DJ up to? Chickens?
Goats.
DJ Farm Boy.
DJ Farm Boy. Pew, pew, pew.
Is he secretly Gonzo?
What's wrong?
Oh, producer Mark says that DJ is secretly Gonzo. Like he's got a lot of chicken lady friends.
Gonzo from the Muppets?
Yeah.
Because I definitely thought we were talking about Gonzo style Hunter S. Thompson stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, I was thinking journalism, Hunter S. stuff. And I was like, yeah, DJ 100% is Gonzo.
I have to do all the drugs to be able to digest this information from this interview.
Yeah, well, I should say DJ used to be one of probably the most Gonzo person I've ever been around.
Yeah.
Maybe second, maybe number two. The legend Kevin Teets, who I think I've talked to you about before, just like, well, the last story, you know what? Literally, it sounds like I'm doing a bit. Legally can't talk about anything I wanted to talk about as it relates to Kevin Teets.
Oh, why? Is he's got a case going? What do you mean?
A lot of stuff's open. Yeah,
oh,
that's
shit.
What I mean. And it would not, no one would find it, you know what I mean? But still.
Yeah, it's still salacious. Now I really want to know.
It's so salacious.
Why don't you tell a story about someone else?
Yeah, not me, but a guy I know.
Yeah.
Whose name is let's just say that if you're running Democratic campaigns in the state of Tennessee, and in doing so, unearthing things about your opponents, like that they have a mistress who's had 3 abortions paid for by an anti-abortion politician.
Ooh.
You're combing through divorce records. You're paying private investigators to dig up all this dirt.
Yeah.
Let's just say if you live your life that way, you should also be squeaky clean. You shouldn't be like doing meth with 23-year-olds in seedy motels.
What is this, Canada? Only Canada can have politicians that do fucking hard drugs and still be cool about it.
Not a politician.
Oh.
A campaign manager.
Yeah, but I feel like that's kind of like the campaign manager. It's the same like any other manager. It doesn't represent the person they're representing. They're the ones that need to be on the drugs so they can stay up and be thinking of all the ways that they're supposed to be promoting this person.
Oh, it wasn't a moral takedown. It wasn't a this hypocrite. It was we're going to get you fired and potentially you're going to lose your job. You might lose your law license. See, I'm said too much. I've said too much.
Poor Devin.
That's the tip of the iceberg.
Uh-huh.
The best one was, all right, I'll say it this way. The best one was one day I had an alert set on my Google for his name because he was embroiled in a thing and I was following it like popcorn.
Yeah.
That ends, months pass by. And I get an alert, like a Google alert. This thing you have us to, set to alert you if this makes headlines. And it was the funniest screen. It ended up being, it's been an ongoing nightmare. But I'll just tell everyone the headline. And just so everyone knows, this is not what happened, but it is not too far from what happened. It had his picture,
Mm-hmm.
and the headline said, local attorney gambles away money for the homeless.
Oh my God. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get, yep. That'll get you some eyeballs. That'll get someone to click on an article for sure.
Dude, look, he's just trying to get him more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Who else was out here? Who
Listen,
else was betting on
it's an
black?
investment. Yeah. It's an investment. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to take this money from you and then I'm going to parlay it into more money. It's just a business
Yeah.
investment. That's all.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. That's it.
That's not exactly what was going down. What was going down was that he was doing the commingling of company funds to support. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I said his real name. I genuinely feel terrible right now.
Well, we could beep
Mark,
it.
can you
Producer
beep
Mark.
that out?
Yeah, can you beep out his
the
name?
first time?
Yeah.
Is that possible? All right, we'll talk about it later.
He wants you to sit back and stop. What? Stop moving around.
Well, tell him I want him to fucking, be better.
He wants you to be better. He said he'll try.
All right,
And then he wants you to try to sit still
All right, I'll try.
and sit back.
I'll do my best. I'm in a rocking chair.
Oh, dude, why would you sit in a rocking chair? I love a rocking chair. I fucking love a rocking. You can't sit still in a rocking chair. It's impossible.
No. Well, you said why. There's an implication there of like solid other choices that I just don't currently have. I'm a month behind schedule, but I do feel like, okay, literally this candle just fell over and almost hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
This candle's sitting on a bed. So that's where we're at. We just got random candles on beds.
Nice. What scent is that? It looks nice. I love a good scent. I'm real particular about them though. Some of those fucking candles, fuck your aromatherapy. That doesn't incite any kind of good emotion. It just smells like a plastic version of the fruit that you're trying to get me. I don't.
Yeah.
Fucking. I'm real particular about it. Candle scents.
I'm that way with flavoring and drinks. Like if I'm at a coffee shop and they're like, "You want a little vanilla in that today?" I'm that guy who's like, "Do you make it yourself?" And then they're like, "No." Or I'll be like, "Is it actual vanilla extract?" And they're like, "No, it's what's that popular company? Is that an Italian name?"
The Monin or Tirani. Well, Tirani uses alcohol.
Like
yeah, Tirani uses alcohol, so it always tastes like booze. What, producer Mark? Beaver anal glands is what about?
Oh, yeah.
What?
I know about that. That's how they make like a
whoa.
flavor.
I want to speak on behalf of the audience in saying that we don't all know about beaver anal gland flavoring. So you guys are going to have to fucking let a bitch know. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Mark, I can stumble through it while you pull up the literal thing, but there's something in beaver anal glands that they use in a lot of stuff. I think it's a chemical binding agent, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be like
chemical
binding
agent.
So I think that I can put strawberry in your bubble gum, but 2 days later, it won't taste the same. But if I put this beaver anal gland juice in there, I learned this on Well Read. I think Corey brought it to my attention. And so it's been a few years, and I was probably drunk when I learned about it. Mark, can you easily get on a mic and tell Carmen and the audience the actual use of beaver anal gland juice?
Ooh, I guess I have eaten beaver ass then, statistically, based on what you both have told me, is I've eaten beaver ass, is what you're telling me. Because I like a little vanilla in my coffee. I had...
Yeah, You've expressed the anal glands of beaver's ass into your. You've been squirted on by a beaver.
Wow. Okay. Here
So
we
am I. Ew, beaver, double entendre, everybody.
Okay, so it's castoreum. Castoreum is a heavily scented brown or tan goo that is secreted from a beaver's castor gland, which is located nail-bitingly close to its anal gland. Beavers use castoreum to communicate with each other about marking territory, establishing colonies, and deterring predators. Despite its less than ideal
Like rappers.
origins, yeah.
This is my territory.
It's not their ass, it's right next to their ass. It's like
Dude.
it's like huh? The taint. Yeah. Little taint juice. Who don't want a little taint juice in their
He
coffee?
only wants me for my taint juice.
Despite its less than ideal origins, castoreum smells pleasant. In the past, castoreum was burned by the Romans in lamps and trapper. How the fuck did they figure this out? Who the fuck was squeezing beaver ass and like, we could light a fire with this?
Excuse me, Ramonius. I have something I got to talk to you about. What is it, Tiberius?
It's
Look,
best
I don't
if
know
we
how to
don't
say
speak
this, man.
about this in front of the peasants.
Yeah, listen, man. I don't know how to say this, but that beaver's ass smells so good, dude.
Oh my god. It's they've been using it in lamps, and the trappers have been relying on it to lure animals since the mid 1800s. It's also been a natural food flavoring for nearly the last century. And yes, it has been used as a replacement for vanilla, raspberry, or strawberry in some flavorings and food items.
So it's not a preservative. I thought it was used as a preservative.
So when they say castor oil, they're talking about beaver anal gland oil, like
I
the
don't
one that
think
you were
so.
cooking in the 50s. They were always pushing castor oil from like
Yeah, I don't think that's the same. Castoreum and castor oil, I think, are different.
Castoreum is labeled by the FDA as generally recognized as safe. And because of that, companies aren't legally required to disclose when they use castoreum, often instead referring to as quote unquote natural flavorings. Are you
Got
kidding
that natural
me?
flavor, baby. What'd you think it was? Strawberry? This fucking loser thought it was strawberries, everybody.
But there's a significant chance that you've never had castoreum. Wait. There's a significant chance that you've never had castoreum in your food and never will. That's not true. If they're putting it as everything has quote unquote natural flavoring in it.
Yeah, well, maybe you had beaver ass juice. Maybe you have an aardvark ass juice. Carmen, we don't know.
Maybe they figured out there's other ones. Due to the nature of where it's produced, castoreum is hard to extract and involves anesthetizing the beaver and quote unquote milking its glands, much like your vet does with your dog's butt. They squeeze the butt glands to get all the shit out. Oh my God. Only roughly 300 pounds are produced annually. Yeah, but if it's only 300 pounds produced annually, it's definitely going to craft foods. It's definitely going to the big guys. It's not going to a mom and pop shop, I tell you what. Instead of being put into desserts like baked goods and ice creams, the castoreum is often used in the perfume industry to add sweet scents to products. Okay. It's bad enough that we got fucking whale blubber in the, all the whale, what is it? Whale loogies? You know what I'm talking about? There's like something in a whale's throat or it's whale phlegm, essentially. It's something that they cough up and smells incredible, apparently. And they use it in a lot of perfumes. So between whale phlegm and beaver butt juice, man, we really talk about using the whole buffalo, right? I mean, we talk about being wasteful, but I think that if anything, holy shit, that's definitely using shit that we didn't even think.
Oh, we're real efficient. I think the first time I heard of this, like I said, I think Corey brought it up. The perfume was the first thing he told us about. But like that, that doesn't bother me. Honestly, neither of them do.
Mhm.
Are you bothered?
I'm bothered that they didn't tell me. I would rather know so then I could have a choice in whether I want to have the beaver ass version of a vanilla latte or if I want somebody who
Not where I
scraped
thought we
vanilla
were going,
beans.
but I
Yeah.
like it. This is a consent thing. This is a me too. Oh, you had beaver ass? Me too. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to
I
be
don't know if I agree with you.
okay. You
And
don't want to
I
know.
obviously can't make that choice. I think, yeah, it's like, yeah, right, natural flavor. Look, this is what PR is for. I hate that PR and advertising has become just like all that it feels like we do, where it's like you don't need it. So that first they have to make you think you need it.
Mhm.
Then they met it's like that. This to me is like what it's for. This is why you have an advertising and a PR department where they're like, the best way to make this product is to put beaver ass in it. Hey, Bill, how can we say that legally without getting in trouble or grossing people out? And Bill calls up a lawyer and was like, hey, I think I can say natural flavor. Does that work? He did it again, Bill. Give him a raise. I am fine with that because I just want to enjoy my coffee and not think about it. Especially,
then why the fuck are
here's-
you going
here's
and
why.
asking if they're making it real or not? So you're looking for the
Exactly,
not
because I
beaver
don't want the
ass.
chemicals. That's what I was getting. That's what I was coming home with.
Mm.
Because that makes me like them knowing I'll be grossed out, but they're not hurting me at all.
Mm.
And so they're lying to me in a way I want to be lied to.
Sure.
Versus they're killing me with shit that they won't even let them put in it in Europe.
Yeah. The
they're
spices,
hiding
that's
that-
been the
Yes.
I think that's why is because it's the same thing like when they make like a kielbasa or something like that and it's like a paprika and other seasonings and that's where they can slide in the dextrose and all this other weird chemically stuff because it's under quote unquote seasonings. So you're saying because
Right.
it's not harmful, but we don't know who's done the research on beaver ass secretion. I ain't seen no
Nick,
fucking
37,000 pioneers who made it through the winter of 1875 cannot be wrong.
Sure they can. That was before we
a
tested
mountain
anything.
man named Clement smelled so good that winter that he got 3 widows pregnant.
It is funny to imagine a dude slutting, cutting up the belly of a beaver and then going, wait, what is that? And then you're sniffing the entire carcass and then you end up at its asshole. Like, does that mean their poop
Yeah.
smell like vanilla? Does
That's
beaver
what I was
shit smell like
saying
vanilla?
with
Or is it right next
with
to
my
it?
very weird act out. I think it's right next to it, but it could get it on the way out. That's why I was doing my weird little act out. I'm telling you, the Roman generals figured this out long ago.
Oh,
One of them was smelling a beaver. What if the dumb euphemism
mhm.
with some people used to call vaginas beavers? That's very not hip. What if this is where that came from? We assume it's like hairy beaver, right? Like that's
Yeah.
It's
got
pussy look
teeth.
like a
Yeah.
beaver.
Watch the beaver.
Yeah, sorry to be gross. But what if it was like, again, Clement back in the 1870s was like, boys, beaver smells like a woman, I tell you what. And that's how it got going.
That sweet, sweet beaver. If I
smelled
could,
her
I'd put her
beef.
pussy in my coffee. It was so delicious. It was.
It's funny you say that, Clem, because I've been doing that. I've been squeezing that beaver's butt right down into my coffee on the campfire in the morning. Dude, in my head,
That was the first
same two
vanilla
actors.
latte, dude. Is somebody just squeezing a beaver's ass over
Yeah.
a campfire percolator?
in my head, the same 2 actors played Tiberius and Ramonius.
Yeah.
Also just played Clem and Wendell.
Yeah.
It's just like the same 2 dudes every 100 years or so rediscovering beaver ass. Dude, Maybe it's me and you right now. Maybe this episode ends with Mark bringing you a beaver out. You like rub it behind your neck.
Ooh, I smell so fragrant. Is this a Bath and Body Works?
Bobby cannot keep his hands off you. No, dude, this is what the Beyond is in Bed Bath and Beyond. This is what they're talking about. It used to be Bed Bath and Beaver, and nobody would come in.
They're like, we don't fuck with taxidermy. They're like, no, you don't understand. Put this in your candle and light it.
That's what Gwyneth Paltrow put in her pussy candle, dude.
That's what it was. It was never her actual pussy. It was just beaver glands. How funny would it be if they like they're drugging them, but what if the beavers like getting their glands expelled? What if they're like, oh,
of course they do.
Fuck.
Dude, this guy came and gave me ketamine and then expressed my glands. And it's not cheating because I couldn't do anything about it. That's the best day of the beaver's life.
Yeah, because aren't beavers monogamous? Don't they like have a family and they like, baby, it's not what you think, okay? These guys, they grabbed me. This is like the alien abduction stories in the 50s. They took me.
Oh my God, aliens are after our butt cheeks.
What if we're the beavers of space? Dude, what if we're the beavers of space? What, producer Mark? We're alien candles, dude. They came and they probed our asses. Well, now they probably make it synthetically, you know. Now they're not getting it from the source anymore because we falsely accuse them of rape, you know. So it's probably that.
Cut to same two actors now in alien makeup. Zoran, did you know that this is human butt juice in your drink?
Cannot compute. Why did you tell me that? Call it something else. Maybe natural flavors.
Maybe extraterrestrial flavors. Because we're aliens.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
We're alien. Alien flavorings. Oh my God.
Now with real alien flavor, there's just some conspiracy theorists on that planet like, dude, you know that's coming out of their butt.
You
right?
know that, dude, it's coming out of their asses. And we're drinking it. And everybody's like, shut up. Nobody fucks with humans.
We can travel at the speed of light. You think we're drinking ass juice? Come on.
You're crazy.
I like
Go back to wearing your feathered
crazy.
cap because instead of tinfoil, it's like something else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's natural. I liked it, Carmen.
Thank you. Wow. Well, I don't know where to go from beaver butt juice. Beaver butt juice, and I don't care.
Here's a half.
Go ahead, sorry.
Beaver
butt juice, and I don't care. Beaver butt juice, and I don't care.
Dude, that's my theme song. That's me. I understand, especially philosophically, what you're saying. They put beaver ass juice in your coffee and didn't tell you. But my philosophy is, hit it, Carmen.
Beaver butt juice, and I don't care. Beaver butt juice, and I don't care. Beaver butt juice, and I don't care.
I'm probably in the only room in my in-laws' house where I can't just, nope, here we go. Just pick up an item and sound and look like you sound.
I love that.
If you're listening and not watching, I just picked up a guitar.
He has a beautiful Spanish guitar.
And here's a possum
really
dressed like a jester.
Wow.
All right, hit it.
That is one thing. Oh, beaver butt juice, and I don't care. Beaver butt juice, and you're becoming like the one-man band. What was the name of that guy? There was a guy who used to sing songs about cocaine in the early 40s, I want to say, and he was a one-man, huh?
Eddie
Jay
Murphy?
Morgan. No, it was in like the 1940s. And he sang songs about cocaine, and it was like
While you're looking, let me do this. Did I tell you about the sketch I saw, Dog Conspiracy Theorist?
No.
This is connected to the alien thing. I thought it was so well done, and it was just like a very basic like point of view. You met a conspiracy theorist dog, and it was like they microchip some of us, right, dude? And they're like jump cut, and you'd be like, literally, they created us over 100 or over thousands of years just to be their companion. We used to be wild and free.
Yeah. We were all
And
wolves,
then
dude. We were all
yeah,
wolves.
is it they did that, and then it's like the food we eat processed in a lab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not even real.
It's not even real food.
It murdered me.
Yeah. I mean, that's always funny when they end up being right.
Yeah. Did you find this cocaine?
He used to play a drum.
Singer?
He would play a drum. He had a harmonica. It was an old black dude. And he had like bells that he would ring, and he would play guitar, and it had like 3 guitar strings and 2 bass strings. So he would play like.
Pardon my ignorance, but this is from the 40s, and we have video of this.
Pictures of it, but I can't remember the name of the dude. You know who would know? Producer Mark's arch nemesis, fucking
Smart Mark.
Brian Vokey would know who this is.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Smart Mark.
Oh shit, that's
There
right.
you go.
Oh man, because he was from Georgia too.
Mm.
He was from Georgia.
You know who would know is DJ.
DJ would fucking know. God damn it, DJ.
Right.
He's like rolling around.
Cotton Bill.
Yeah, exactly. It was a name like
I saw him
that
at a
too.
county fair one time. Wildest shit I ever seen, son. This was back when I was living up in California. Here, we'll just make this DJ.
There you go.
You talking about Cotton Bill? Cotton Bill. That's what you're talking about. Dude, you ain't gonna believe this. He lived on my couch for 3 weeks. My buddy Jables and him used to do meth together.
Jables?
They lived in a dumpster in Atlanta. I ain't told you about Jables. Used to shit in a pizza box. Shit. I can't decide if that was an homage or really offensive. I meant it with love.
Of course. I mean, they'll tell us. The audience will tell us if they think it's being rude. I don't think so.
Oh, the audience will love it. They didn't even think anything negative till I said that. I was just wondering how DJ would feel.
Oh, Abner J. Right? Abner J. Doesn't that sound like a name from... Yep, Abner J.
That's way better than Cotton Bill.
He has a song called I'm So Depressed. A song called Cocaine.
Hell yeah. You think which one do you think came first for Abner? The coke or the depression?
There's a lot of low-class people singing it.
This is the how
Matter of fact, most so-called folk singers don't even look like folk. Folk song tells true stories, but terrible stories, because folk are terrible.
He sounds like Charles
songs
Barkley.
make big songs.
It's terrible.
Why do you think kids like rock and roll? Because it's terrible. Do you think they're going to listen to the Philadelphia Symphony, 101 strings? Why do you think I like cocaine, running around my heart, and then running around my brain.
That's Abner J. And he does.
Yeah.
He has a drum. Like, he has a drum that he plays with his foot, and then he has a banjo that he plays, and then he has like bells on the other foot. So he'll like bang a foot and like use the bells as a hi-hat.
All right, it's fading a little.
Okay. But that's it.
It's starting to get like wah wah. For people who don't watch Inside the NBA, that guy sounds just like Charles Barkley. And also, Inside the NBA is the best reality television show that exists. You don't have to know or care about basketball to enjoy it. It is hilarious.
What is it?
Inside the NBA, it's the show that Charles Barkley's on, and that guy sounds just like Charles Barkley. Or I guess reverse. I guess Charles Barkley sounds like
Abner J. Yeah. He's. I already said the terrible joke. Producer Mark's not paying attention.
I wish we had Smarter Mark here.
Smarter Mark.
Oh wait, he's Smarter Mark. Ah, look.
Uh-oh. Where's the smartest
man.
Mark? That's who I want to know. The smartest Mark.
That was probably the guy who didn't smell beaver butts in Rome. His name was Marcus, and he was like, "Fuck y'all, I'm out of here. Let me go conquer a different land, please." He got transferred,
Yep.
and now we have Czechoslovakia, probably.
Solid origin story. I love it.
Yeah,
That's your dog conspiracy theory, and that's how it actually happened.
I don't even feel like that's a conspiracy theory. Like a lot of history, if you take what happened and then you trace it back,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, this was a plan. They said they were going to start this country, and they did. But then it's like, yeah, okay, but if we start from the beginning, there were like 19 plans. There were 15 people, and these guys just got lucky.
Yeah.
Like the ones whose plan won out, it was because of something random. It was because a waitress like ran out and was like, "You forgot your change, sir." It's so stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's like it's hard for me to wrap my head around some of people's conspiracy theories. It's because they think everything is planned, and I was like, I don't know, man. A lot of this shit just
Yeah.
seems like we're fumbling through it. Is like I don't think there was a plan at all. I
wish
think it's
DJ
way
was here
more
so bad.
react. Me too. I know. Because then
Well,
he'd be
he's
like,
been
"Oh,
listening
come
to a
on,
few
man."
podcasts.
Yeah.
He's been listening to a few podcasts, and I feel like he's sort of been able. I don't remember the one it's called. He's been synthesizing his former view on it and my view on it. Which my view is like what you were saying. I'm like, dude, no one's in charge.
Yeah.
Look around. And his was like, buddy, I'm telling you, look at what happened in Russia. But he's been listening to this podcast where it feels like he's starting to sort of synthesize those two takes of like, it's basically like,
Maybe it's partially planned, and then the rest of it is all fumbled through.
the quickest way I can explain it, this isn't exactly it, but just as an example, there's 100 people with enough power to change things, but they're not friends.
Mm-mm.
So they're all backstabbing each other, double crossing each other, and doing all this bullshit to help themselves and fuck each other and join. And so it's chaos, but there is some planning involved by some very nefarious and powerful people.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, and well, what's an example? Fucking Watergate happened. That's a bad example. Man,
Well,
I was
the
doing-
conspiracy theory that's good, that is right, is MK Ultra. So you could use that one.
Great example is like, yeah, some very powerful CIA people were thinking this would be a way to like win a war or get
Mhm.
advantage over the enemy, and they just fucking tested some people. But like those dudes, the idea that like MK Ultra's proof the government is always like, nah, these are just some assholes
They're just trying to
who-
figure out how to get an edge. Yeah.
and other people let them, honestly, because they weren't threatened by the dudes.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like the
Mm.
people in charge of that program, the real guy in charge was like, I don't know, it keeps them busy. They're not overthrowing governments if they're fucking dosing their own citizens. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think
it's both like scary and weird. They're feeding drugs to us and running tests, and also like, yeah, but just because they're fucking bored or dumb, you know what I mean? Anyway, but
mhm. It's not part of a grand master plan. Well, that's the part of
there
it
isn't
that
a
I
grand
think.
master plan.
That's what I think is it's my big question is always why? What's the purpose? And
Yeah.
whenever people are just like, oh, just to control us, and it's like, for what? For what? To what end?
Right, but there is greed, advertising, lies. You know, all right. Here's a good example: sugar replacing and becoming fat. There was this huge campaign to like make fat the bad guy, fat free. We all remember the 90s.
Yep,
Everything was fat free.
everything was fat-free.
Cholesterol, and it was genuinely because the corn industry had a fuck ton of corn syrup. And they legitimately started a campaign to make fat the bad guy, to get the onus off sugar so they could keep putting sugar in different products to get us addicted to sugar.
It's the same
That
thing with
was a plan.
cheese. It's the same thing with cheese.
That
There was
'cause
a
we had bunch
surplus of
caves.
cheese. There was the cheese caves. There's surplus of cheese. And so you just got
That
a
one was
free
less
block
sinister.
of cheese. Yeah. Yes.
That one was like, the government's just going to buy it so farmers don't go under.
Mhm.
And then since the government owns all this cheese, they're going to like make Pizza Hut use a bunch of cheese.
Mhm.
This was a lot more sinister and like, we know sugar's not good for you. but we don't care. We're going to put it in everything. And anyway, that's a perfect example, I think, of like there were sinister people with a sinister plan, but it didn't work because
It did
the
for years,
Illuminati.
though. Yeah.
But it
I
didn't.
see what.
No, it didn't work. It didn't work because of the Illuminati. It worked because they paid off enough senators they had to pay off, and then everyone else was out doing their own evil, greedy shit and didn't know about their plan. That's the part where it's like there's no cohesiveness to it. There's just a bunch of evil people trying to do evil, and the ones that win, if you look back on their life, you go, "Holy shit, it's all connected."
Sure.
And it's like, well,
It's always things
have
always seem
connected.
connected in hindsight.
Right.
Yeah. Or like things always seem more calculated, even if they're not in hindsight, because it was like, oh, but then they could have. Sure, you could have. You could have
Well,
a
the
lot
line
of
is-
things. It's just
Right,
like the whole
government.
like it's just like when you accuse somebody of cheating. If they were in the same place in the same house, they could have. In hindsight, they
Right.
could have fucked, but they also could have not. They just could have both happened to be in there at the same
Could've
time,
just
and that doesn't.
beaver butt juice.
Sometimes it's just beaver butt juice, dude. Sometimes it's MK
Yeah.
Ultra, and sometimes it's beaver butt juice.
Right. Well, I guess getting back to the sugar thing, what I was trying to express, and I
Shut
probably did a
up,
bad
producer
job.
Mark.
Shut up, producer Mark.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Free Brian Vokey. Sometimes I forgot what I was saying. Oh, with the sugar thing. So then, like online, people are like, "Yeah, there was a big government conspiracy to put sugar in everything," and it's like,
But it wasn't a
that's
conspiracy. It wasn't
sort of a
planned.
true statement. It was planned by the sugar industry in an attempt to make money, which is what businesses do. So if you want a conspiracy, it's that you can pay off our government to let you get by with shit.
But that's
But
not a
it's
conspiracy.
not-
That's a fact.
Right.
It's
not
been
Illuminati.
done.
Exactly.
Yeah, that shit has
Right.
been done for years. That's that's part
Right.
of the issue with our fucking country as it is where
Right.
the government is easily bought, and that's why that's why Bernie's been for years has been like it's the companies are the fucking problem, is because
Yes.
we're purchasable and easily purchasable, and if you have enough money, which they do, the Koch brothers have enough money, Kraft has they have enough fucking money to buy whatever it is that they need from us.
Yep.
That's not conspiratorial. That's not the government
Well, it is.
oh no, that's not. But that's the government is the bitch in this scenario.
Yes.
It's not.
100%.
They're not the conspiratorial ones. They're not the ones like, oh, you know what we'll do for you know how we'll control the people. You know how we'll control the
Exactly.
masses. They're not thinking that. They're obviously not that smart. I.e., there's senators who are having their mistresses get abortions from it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like these people
I
aren't that
do.
smart.
Another example. Another example that's slightly different, but it's a perfect one to highlight this. Bill Gates
Mm-hmm.
uses his foundation to get out of paying any taxes, and then also to affect policy in countries where he mines for stuff for his technology.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he's doing all this great work curing malaria in Africa. Yeah, in countries where he turns on that money and then he says, "I'm turning this off and blaming you if you don't let me keep having kids in your mines so I can get money for my chips." He is doing that. It is documented. That's true. The conspiracy theory people are like, Bill Gates is trying to turn us all gay. And it's like, you're so close. You're so close.
Yeah.
And the government's helping him because then that's why everybody's trans. And it's like, no, that's why everybody's poor.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's you know what it is? It's it's like filling out a Mad Libs by a 4-year-old versus a 24-year-old. You know, where it's just like that's trans. Like they're just saying words that they hear people say and inserting them, and it's like, no, that's not how our brains work. Even
No.
that's not how that works. Starfish. A lot of people don't know this, but starfish butthole is actually what paprika is made out of. They make you think it's peppers, but it's starfish butthole, ground starfish.
Oh, you're right. It burned a little when I snipped it. You're correct. I cannot explain this I don't think it's sexual. I have eaten ass, but I'm not much of an ass eater. I want to stick my tongue in that so bad all of a sudden. I have no idea why. I think it's because you said paprika. Like, I
It's
am
not really.
almost overwhelmed
It's
with the desire.
it's not real. Well, do it. Do it
The
for
paprika thing?
Yeah, I made that up.
I know. I wouldn't stick my tongue in paprika. I'm white.
What's it taste like? What does starfish butthole taste like?
I mean, it tasted like a thing that's been on a dirty dresser for
There
a
you
year,
go.
which is what it is.
That's probably how starfish butthole tastes in general, but wet. Can you tell a difference? You have more than one. It's always there is a generational thing about nautical decor.
Yeah, you're right. Well, used to going to the beach from where I'm from. I know you're from Florida. Two things. One was such a big deal that you had to come back with something and then display it as proof. And then two, when you went to the beach, everyone decorated like this. So you wanted to like you know what I mean? Like
You wanted
went
to bring
Florida,
the
you wanted
coast
look
to
like
you.
Florida.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That one tastes better.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's
but
why
we
you
have a
watch on
male
YouTube,
and
guys, so
female
you can watch
starfish.
Drew lick a starfish butthole. But yeah, there is some, and maybe it is because I'm Florida, but there is like, it's not young people at all, and by young people I mean Gen X, Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha.
Yeah,
Nobody gives a
young
fuck.
people.
Yeah. It's from the boomers and older. Maybe some old Gen Xers, or if there's anybody in between those two. But
most people older than boomers are dead.
yeah,
That's crazy. Gen X is about to be old.
Yeah,
They're not, but they're gonna be soon.
Why do you think they're getting so grumpy? Like they get in the comments on the YouTubes anytime you bring them up.
I think they've always been grumpy. My thing with them has always been like the general vibe you guys had to have to create all these rad things was bad. It turns out. I've told you this before. They're my favorite people to hang out with individually, and I think they might be my least favorite group.
Oh, like generationally?
Or maybe it's the reverse. I don't know. Sometimes I just say stuff. Because it's a podcast we're trying to entertain. I mean, that's what it is. That's how they're getting old. They're like, this thing you said, you know how you have to fill an hour every week? Well, I took it so fucking seriously, and I can't believe how seriously you take yourself, you millennial. And I'm like, buddy, I don't give a fuck. I literally, I'm not even thinking about it. I had forgotten about the comments and that's how proud, I'm very proud of myself for that.
Congratulations. But the more upsetting thing, I think, is that we're never going to go into a guest room that has fucking sand dollars in it anymore.
Let's bring it back, dude.
No, I don't want it back. My mom had a house.
Upset.
But yeah, my mom had a room in our house that was called the nautical room. But I mean, to be fair, to justify it, my parents were both, they're deep sea fishermen. They were shore fishermen before they could afford a boat. Like they live this alt life, so to speak. So I get it that they in particular, exactly. I get that they don't have a Guy Harvey on the wall. Unironically, they've caught all of those fish. So I get it if
they're not posers like my mother. Goes on one girl's trip. Has one glass of wine a year, and suddenly she thinks her bathroom reminds people of the sea. It doesn't, Nancy. That's not even the right color blue.
The ocean isn't pastel, for fuck's sake. It's not.
Have you even seen it? It's like, well, I saw a picture of Bermuda. Okay, well, that's Bermuda. We don't have Bermuda money.
That's always an annoying, like, as far as decor goes, that's always an annoying trend I find. And you can attest to this because you stay in hotels a lot too. And, all the folks that travel a bunch that listen to us, you guys know what I'm talking about. Every time you go to a new city, they feel the need to put a picture of where you are, or put like a text, like a fun font of the city you're in. It's just like, yeah, I know. I got off the fucking plane. You don't got to remind me in the hotel where I'm at.
That's because you smoke instead of drink.
Is that what it is?
When I used to drink a lot on the road, it would actually be really nice. You like wake up at 6 in the
You're
morning,
like, oh, where the
4
fuck
hours
am
of
I?
sleep with a fucking
Oh,
panic attack
Houston,
hangover,
okay.
and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah,
Oh,
thank God that
thank
that
God
fucking
that's
thing's
there.
on the wall.
So
What
that's
would
what
be
it's
fucked
for.
up
It's for
is
drunks.
if you were woke up in Sacramento and it said Houston on the wall.
Yeah.
They'd be like, fuck, I lost a week.
Well, like I appreciate when they put like a cityscape of where you're at or a historic building. Like it's just when they put the name of it. That's always. But I guess I never thought about it when I
It's
blacked
also
out.
cheap to buy. Like if you're trying to go on Amazon and buy 500 paintings,
Mm,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like there's probably only about 6 affordable options.
All done in a small town in China.
What's wrong?
Oh, producer Mark said what's funny is they're all made in one small town in China. All of the
Yeah.
all of that.
Well, it's a small town in China, but it
what?
actually has 7 million people in it.
Yeah. That's where Hobby Lobby gets all of his shit. In order to live,
Dude,
laugh,
I don't-
love, it has to come from China.
There's a joke in there with the L's. Do you know that New York would be like the 8th biggest city in China or the 12th biggest city in China?
No.
Yeah.
Dafen, or Dafen, however it's said, suburb of the Shenzhen, China, is known as the, quote, world's oil painting factory, unquote, because it is the center of global art reproduction for over 20 years. In its heyday, the village produced 60% of the world's new oil paintings, mostly copies of Western art. The village has more than 2,000 painters, including those trained at art academies who produce dozens of replicas each day. The village is thought to have grown after Hong Kong trader moved there from the 1980s, and aspiring artists began making replicas. The village is made up of small alleys with galleries where people work and sell their art. Most of the paintings, especially the highest quality ones, are painted by individuals rather than on an assembly line. They have assembly lines of fucking paintings. Jesus Christ. However, the village's status has declined since 2008's financial crisis, and the demand from hotels and restaurants has stagnated. Some artists can finish up to 100 paintings in 12 hours. Dude,
Every time I hear a new thing about China, it blows my goddamn mind.
it really is nuts. It's fucking nuts.
And the reverse has to be even more so. Imagine you're not from that village. You're from like 4 villages away, and then someone takes you there for the first time when you're like 20, and they explain to you that this whole village's economy is people painting oil paintings for American hotels. Like, how alien does that whole concept to you? Like, we're not talking about
sounds like a conspiracy theory that you made up.
Yes, and we're not talking about a company. We're talking about the whole town.
Yeah, a
The
town of
whole
about
economy.
8,000 people. It says in 2018, 8,000 people lived in Dafen, and the local government promised to develop it into a tourist destination. And let's see, in 2019, a publication estimated that the Dafen area produced revenues of around $630 million annually.
Bro, what?
Yeah,
That's almost $1 billion industry.
yeah. Just painting nautical scenes that probably my mom had in her fucking nautical room, dude.
Let us say real quick.
I thought
Let's
you said let us
props.
pray. I'm not kidding. I thought you just said let us pray. Let us pray. Lord, please thank the people of Dafen. Please bless them and their brushstrokes. May they fulfill every Hilton Garden Inn across not only this great nation, but around the world. But an assembly line of painting like that is like, what are you on, seagulls? Listen, you got the seagulls, I got the waves, you got the sailboats, and everybody's just going,
There's
whoop,
some
whoop,
hustler.
whoop, whoop. Yeah, just.
I gotta get out of seagulls, man. Too. You know what's next? You guys aren't even ready for this, but fucking roses, dude. I've been painting some roses, man. I feel it. It's the year of the flower, baby. Maybe that's where the Chinese New Year stuff come from, like Year of the Dragon. It's just like the shit we bought from them that year. I wanted to say a shout out to Mark for earning his
Hey,
stripe
smarter
right there.
Mark.
Because when he said to you, and I heard you say it, I thought that was a joke. He was like, yeah, and all of them are made in some place in China. I was like,
Yes.
oh, yeah, like a China joke about
Yeah,
how they
it
make
made
all
in
the
China
stuff we
jokes.
consume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Just came through with a mind-blowing fact.
Yeah. He's
So
the
this kid I
smartest
went to
Mark.
college with,
Mm-hmm.
this kid I went to college with, Thiago was his name. He was American, but his parents were Brazilian. His brother had moved to like China's sixth biggest city.
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of it. I don't remember the name of it. It's bigger than New York City.
Mm-hmm.
While he was studying or something, while there, got like discovered at a shopping mall, like one of those stories,
Mm-hmm.
where they were like, hey, apparently because of our movies, it's very common and popular to have a white person advertise your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Quick side note, Trey's oldest son as a baby, his baby picture ended up as part of a diaper ad campaign where someone stole it off Facebook and then put it on Chinese diapers.
What?
Yeah. Yep. We'll get into that in a second, but let me finish this one because this one's also pretty mind blowing. But it's not as like shocking, but it's wild. Got discovered or whatever. They asked him to be the face of a milk campaign for a milk company that's only in that city. And then that guy ended up staying there. Chiaro's brother, at that point, when he told me the story, he'd already been there like 8 years. He was like Flo with Progressive Insurance.
Wow.
He was the milk guy for this company on their commercials. They ended up taking it national. He had a really good life just doing ads
For milk.
as a white-looking milkman.
Fuck.
And was famous in a city I've never heard of that's bigger than New York.
Producer Mark said you should rent a white guy for meetings.
You can do that in Japan.
Oh, you say
You can do that in Japan. Is that what he's talking about?
Yes. He said in Japan and China, you can rent a white guy for a meeting.
Here, does he know why? I'll tell you why, and he can back me up or tell me why I'm wrong. Since he's not on mic, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, smarter Mark. In Japan, apparently, it's not just to rent a white guy. Sometimes they'll hire a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
Their culture is such that you can never tell your boss they're wrong. Even if what your boss is doing, is going to ruin your company.
Okay.
It's like very difficult to give feedback. It's very difficult.
I remember
to be like,
they talked about this outliers, and Malcolm Gladwell talked about this with the airplanes. Like it was a pilot was giving misinformation, and the first commander would not correct him. It was like yeah. Go ahead.
So a spot, yes. So a spot on the roster now, because they started doing business with America. And one of the first things they had to like get over was that an American guy would be like, no, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And since you weren't part of the culture, eventually it was like known that Americans would do that and they would make fun of you and they would call you obnoxious, but they saw how valuable it was. So they will now hire a guy, and your only job or a big part of your job is when we need to, we are going to tell you when to go tell the boss he's wrong. And the boss will call you obnoxious. Will be like, these rude fucking Americans, I hate them, but we'll listen to you. So we all get to save face and do our politeness. And by the way, here's $150,000 a year or whatever it is.
Oh my God.
Just to be a dick, to be right.
Dude, if stand-up doesn't work out, man,
counselor,
fuck all this. I want to be...
Fuck my guidance counselor so hard, dude.
Not even telling me that was an option. First of all, I could have been oil painting seagulls my entire life in China.
Yeah, but that's 12-hour days.
Yeah, that's true.
And by the way, I'm sorry, I could be wrong, but I think it has to be a guy, Carmen.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. So, see you later.
Oh, Sorry, producer Mark made an inside joke, and I didn't remember. Sorry.
Get on the mic.
I know
Producer
he
Mark.
doesn't. He
Jesus
doesn't.
Christ. You know who would never do this? Brian Bokey.
That's true. Brian would just say it. That's true.
Producer Mark is the Suge Knight of podcasting.
He is.
You got all these other producers want to rap on the track. If you want to come over to Death Row, I won't be dancing in the video.
Yeah. He also had someone killed too, so there's that. What? Producer Mark, I'm kidding.
I think
They don't know I'm serious.
We now all agree Diddy did it.
Oh, wait,
I think we now
I
all
thought that
think
then.
Diddy did it.
I thought that then.
Yeah. A lot of people did, but I think now everyone.
What about the conspiracy? What about the theory?
Right.
Yes. What about the theory that Tupac and Diddy were together? Because if you look at a young Tupac Shakur, he was a very effeminate man, and I'm not saying that is not a correlation, not causation. But then when you think about it, like historically, with all of the events of them being together, and then the big what seems like a breakup on Diddy's birthday, and everybody around it being like everything changed after that night. Their dynamic changed. That's when all the beef started.
I think that's two things, mostly homophobia. From the hip hop community, wanting to like make being gay like a sort of a thing to blame or whatever.
I don't think it was being gay was a thing to blame. I think it was them hiding it ended up being a thing to like you would have had to at the time. It wasn't in vogue. It wasn't as safe, especially not in the hip hop community. So it's like I don't know that it's
Tupac literally got shot and thought that he was set up by Biggie Smalls. I think that is a much more plausible, legitimate thing for them to beef about. He got robbed and shot in the building of a studio where Biggie was recording. He felt like he was set up because no one knew he was going there, supposedly. He probably was set up. I don't think by Biggie. I honestly doubt by Diddy because I don't think Diddy knew he was in town. But my point is,
I do think Diddy knew
that he was in town.
Yeah,
that's fine. I don't need to hash that out. Like, my point is, Tupac believing that Diddy put a hit on him. That's enough. We don't need it more salacious than that. I mean, in this theory, what do they do with that? That's like some sort of you dump me and I'll do this to you thing.
Well, I think that you put a hit out on somebody because if somebody has something that could ruin your career, and you have the ability, to. Because not only that, but Diddy's dad was a motherfucking actual gangster, not gangster in quotes, not rapper gangster, but an actual gangster. That's what the movie that Denzel did about that fucking what's this guy? You remember who I'm talking about?
Frank. That's Diddy's dad.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
dad or granddad.
What I'm saying is, I believe all that, and I can buy that Diddy did it. I just think he did it because it was his number one star's biggest rival. Like that's such a much cleaner.
But the rival was pushing sales on both sides, so it doesn't make sense money wise. But it does make sense in a petty way if you're like I've internalized homophobia and if somebody has something on you, I mean, you put out a hit on them.
But why didn't he kill anybody else then? The jilted lover angle and even the I want to hide this angle, it doesn't make sense considering like all the other events that we know. I mean, it was like I don't think Diddy felt like he had to kill anybody. I mean, or maybe he set one example and then he didn't feel like he had to, you know what? Still have the Tupac.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, even if it's not that, because the thing that was just for me to be salacious was the lovers quarrel situation. But I definitely think that the reason that Biggie and Tupac are both dead is because of Sean motherfucking Puffy Combs.
I think everybody believes that. Whoever people eventually think did it, quote unquote, I think everyone acknowledges that Puff Daddy's way of doing business had a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this, so did Suge Knight's. Yeah. You can't bring the gang into the business and expect gang shit not to happen. But I could be wrong. I think we're pretty far afield perhaps from our audience's interest, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Maybe there's a decent size vag of
Where
a
are
Venn
we on
diagram.
time?
Oh, we're over. We're way over. I think. Yeah, I
All
think
right,
we're
well,
over.
I should go be a dad then.
Okay. Well, thanks for being an adult with me for an hour. I appreciate it.
Can you hit that song one more time?
Oh, the cocaine one. You want me to play it?
No, your song.
Oh, damn it! I already forgot what it was.
It was Beaver Butt. Like
Oh.
Jimmy Crack Corn, but Beaver Butt.
Okay, beaver butt juice. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Okay. Beaver butt juice and I don't care. Beaver butt juice and I don't care. Beaver butt juice and I don't care. See you guys next week.
Night.
We love you. See you next week.
You could stick a whole ribeye in one of your back pockets. Like,